I'm Matt Templeton, your real estate advisor, and you probably are wondering, how much house can I actually afford? I think this is something that every buyer goes through, trying to figure out what should I pay monthly, what can I afford, what costs are included in this payment. So I'll start with what does a payment include? In your mortgage payment, for the majority of mortgage loans, you're gonna have principal and interest, which is your payment towards the loan amount, plus insurance for the house, and state or county, city taxes, local property taxes. So those are the four things that are included. If for some reason you are putting less than 20% down, which is completely normal, you would also have some private mortgage insurance or MIP in that payment as well. So there's 5 potential things that be included in your payment. And so that payment is going to all be considered as part of a factor of what your debt payment is on the house. And the way that the mortgage lenders calculate how much you can afford from a mortgage lending perspective is there are max debt to income ratios that you can have in order for all of your debt. So let's make this simple. How does the debt to income ratio work? Well, generally debt to income ratios range from 40 to 49%. I think FHA, you can even go into the 50s. You multiply your gross income each month times, let's just say 45% for a nice even number. So if you had $10,000 a month of gross income and multiplied it by 45%, you could have $4,500 a month in debt payments towards your debt. That's not about the volume of the loan or the amount of the debt that you owe. It's about the payment, the minimum payment specifically that you have to make each month. So if you have a credit card payment, the minimum payment on that credit card counts against that $4,500. And if you have 2 car payments or a car payment, that counts against that. If you have some sort of collections or other payment you owe, that's going to count against that payment. And if you have student loans that you're actively paying on, that is going to also count against that. So there's a number of different payments that might be affecting your ability to qualify for that loan of whatever your payment's going to be for your house. But you have $4,500 total dollars of qualified income each month to spend on debt payments if you make $10,000 in gross income. That's why sometimes it helps to have a co-signer or to have a spouse or a significant other that's also signing with you so that you can use their income as well towards that debt to income payment. Now I picked 45% because it's just nice in the middle. If you have really great credit and you have the right loan terms, you could potentially get up into the 49 or 50% range for debt to income. Most people don't actually ever want to have that many debt payments on their income, but maybe you have income that doesn't qualify. Maybe you have income that's from self-employment income, or you've got income on rental properties or something else that the bank wasn't able to quite use all that income, and you needed to be able to go higher on your debt to income ratio. Another reason that people go high on those debt to income ratios is because maybe they're planning on renting out part of the unit. Maybe they're planning on having roommates, or they're getting to a duplex and they're renting part of it. Or there may be a number of different extenuating circumstances that allow them to make that payment comfortably, but from a lending perspective, they're getting really close to maxing out that debt to income. So how much can you afford is actually 2 questions. There's 2 answers to this question. One is, how much do you comfortably want to pay each month, which we're having to spend more and more of our income towards housing because of rising housing costs, both with interest rates and taxes and just in general, inflation. Costs of housing gone up, rental rates have gone up too for the renters. And so you have to consider how much of my income am I willing to spend on that. The other side of it is, how much can I qualify for? And that is a ratio of debt to income, where that debt to income ratio is decided based on your credit and your whole profile. And that's a max percentage of your gross income each month that can go to all of your debt payments in total. So if you want to know more about debt to income or getting a mortgage loan, understanding this whole process and making sure you can figure out what you can actually afford, please call us. Let us be your real estate advisors. And also, we want to connect you with really savvy, smart mortgage lenders that can help navigate this and maybe even pick the right loan product for you. Before too long, it's probably a good idea to reach out to us. Even if you're 6 to 12 months out before you decide to buy, we start advising and consulting our clients way in advance. I don't want to get down to the last month before you want to buy and then try to explain all this to you. There's so much for you to understand. There's so many things we can be doing in preparation. We love to have a consult with our buyers 6 months before they're ready to buy. So please call us, reach out to us. We love to help. And I hope this is helpful in understanding how much can I actually afford in buying a home.